think colds are bad on Earth? Try one in space. When you're weightless, nothing drains. Your nose, your sinuses stay stopped up. You feel terrible. That's why ActiFed cold tablets are standard equipment for every astronaut. ActiFed delivers. It's the cold tablet most recommended by doctors for fast relief in space and on Earth.
This is USA.
All right, Detective Tyler, I would like to know exactly what the hell is going on down there at that apartment of yours. What have you found out about Jody Travis?
Look, Mr. Whitney, we don't have a statement from Jody Travis yet because we have not interrogated her.
What?
Obviously, she was in no condition last night to give us a coherent story.
Well, just when do you expect to get a coherent story from her? Next month? You've got her in custody, I hope, at least.
As a matter of fact, we don't. She's been remanded to her sister's custody.
Oh, I see. Her sister. Oh, I see. Oh, that's great. You haven't questioned her. She's in her sister's custody, and meanwhile, Gavin Wiley is roaming around free.
Well, we questioned her about that. She said she didn't know anything about it.
And you just believed her? Well, I imagine I shouldn't have expected very much more from your dim-witted department. I imagine that you think that this is some kind of compassionate behavior on your part, but as far as I am concerned, it's nothing more than stupidity.
I told you, they're all a bunch of dopes over there, from Miles Cavanaugh to Derek Mallory to Damien... Well, maybe not Damien. To the DA, I know all they're going to do is slap her dainty little wrists and let her go.
Oh, I'm not concerned about Jody. It's Gavin Wiley. He's got to be made to pay for his murder of Gunther. Meanwhile, the police are just sitting on their hands.
Relax, darling. Hello.
Hello, may I speak to Mrs. Whitney?
Now, this is Mrs. Whitney.
Oh, hi, Mrs. Whitney. This is Valerie Bryson.
Oh, hello, Miss Bryson. What can I do for you?
Well, I was wondering if I might come by this morning. I have the proofs of the portrait sitting that Carlo did of you before he left town.
You have the proofs. I would love to see them. Please, could you come over whenever you can?
You've looked better in your time.
I have felt better in my time.
Oh, you just missed a call from the great man himself, Mr. Schuyler Whitney. And a bitter man at that. He's complaining because we don't have a statement from Jody Travis yet. He says it's a matter of compassion. We're letting the crooks go. And that's the same complaint you have against Dee Dee Bannister.
Yeah, well, I guess I can't complain about it anymore since I now find myself suffering from the same weakness.
What are you talking about?
I saw Gavin Wiley last night. Tyler, I let him go.
You mean you actually saw Gavin Wiley and you didn't take him in?
Those are the facts.
Well, did you at least try to talk him into giving himself up?
Damien, of course I tried to talk him into giving himself up. I guess I wasn't very convincing. Finally just let him walk away. Now I'm doing something even dumber. I'm telling a cop about it.
Well, what did he tell you?
He said that Jody Travis might be able to shed some light on how Gunther Wagner died.
Doesn't make any sense. We already know how Gunther died.
Well, he thinks that we don't know enough. He didn't give me any details. For one thing, Star was there.
Did you see him?
No, she'd gone off to the bedroom to sleep. Anyhow, I told him she was there, and he took off like a shot.
Just like that, with your blessing.
Yeah, my money.
Oh, I didn't quite catch that.
I said, Tyler, that I gave him a little money.
What? You mean you not only let him escape, you financed him?
I know, I'm a dope. Look, the man is my friend.
Calvin, if he was your friend, you...
Right, if he's my friend, I should have talked him into giving himself up. It would have been the best thing for him to do, etc., etc., right?
Right.
Yeah, well, that's not what I did. Look, if you have to go see the chief and tell him that I've been aiding and abetting criminals, I just want you to
There's
know...
only one thing that I want to do right now, and that's talk to Jody Travis. I want to know if what she has to say about Gunther's death is anything different than what we already know. You going with me?
No, I promised Star I'd meet her for lunch.
Well, why don't you try to catch up with me later?
Yeah, okay. Look, Damien, are you gonna have to tell the chief about what I told you?
Calvin, you know there's no way I'm gonna do that. I think that's why you told me in the first place. I think you're starting to read my mind, Calvin. I'm not sure if I like that. Take it easy.
Thanks.
Damn it.
Oh, she's still asleep, thank heaven. She was absolutely paralyzed with exhaustion.
She really looked exhausted when they brought her home last night. Poor little kid has been through such an awful time. Things like that can really leave scars sometimes.
I know. How's it going, Nora?
Oh, moving along. Would you check this memo, please, Mrs. Kavanaugh?
Well, all right, but that's it, because I'm much too distracted to deal with anything that demands concentration right now.
Will you be going to the studio at all today?
No, I don't think so. I want to be here when Jody wakes up. She may need me, and I don't want to leave her, at least not until Miles gets home, and he can't be here until late this afternoon.
Now that she's home, I'm a little surprised that he won't be here until then. He seemed so concerned about her when she was gone.
Oh, well, he is. It's just that, unfortunately, there's only one Miles Kavanaugh, and he has a lot of obligations to his patients, too.
Oh, yes. I can see that he feels very deeply about them.
Yes, he does.
Such responsibility. Take that new case, for instance, that young actress that I heard him talk about. His latest, I believe. His latest patient.
Yes, he's very concerned about her.
Oh, I can see that. He's terribly worried about her.
And this will be fine.
You wanted to check this file.
Perhaps later, Nora. My mind is a little more settled about Jody. Right now, I'm so tired, I just can't make head or tail of anything.
You know, it seems to me you could use a rest yourself, Mrs. C. Why don't you go in and have a little layback?
Layback? What? Where on earth did you get that expression?
I don't know. I think it's from Agatha Christie. Anyway, the point is, the police are going to be coming around sometime today, and maybe you could get in a little nap before, you know, they start bombarding the house with a lot of questions.
I think that's a very good idea. I think I will go have a little layback.
Good. Well, Nora, you've got your needles out today.
I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm sure you do. What's the idea of needling Mrs. Kavanaugh, making insinuations about her husband's latest patient, the young actress, all that?
Insinuations? Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, Mrs. Goodman. I can't believe that you thought I was making insinuations about anything.
Baloney. You don't fool me for a nickel's worth, young lady. Your remarks were loaded with what I don't know, but with something.
I can assure you my intentions were perfectly harmless.
As the cat said to the mouse. Listen, Miss Fulton, you take my advice and you just keep your mind on the typewriter. Mrs. Kavanaugh has quite enough to worry about.
She hasn't nearly enough to worry about. Nor does her husband.
If you're a woman, this material can make a difference in your life. A big difference. They call it dry weave, and it's the patented covering on Always Maxi Pads. Look, it's designed to give us a cleaner, drier kind of protection. Protection that simply didn't exist before. Why didn't they think of dry weave sooner?
Always Maxis, thin Maxis, minis, and panty liners. The touch of protection no other Maxi has.
Well, my world is dull and gray. Hadn't felt the sun in days. Tried new Citrus Hill Select. What a wonderful effect. And my day gets going and my juices get flowing. Citrus Hill Select goes right to the heart. 'Cause the heart is where it's pure. It's my daily sunshine cure. Citrus Hill Select gets your juice and it's flowing. Citrus Hill Select gets your juice and it's flowing.
Still can't decide on a gift for the whole family? Head for Sears and save $500 to $200 on all Kenmore microwaves, from compact to mid-size to full-size. Imagine saving $200. Save $500 to $200 on all VCRs with features like stereo, wireless remote, and programmability. Fact is, at these prices, you might want to suggest one of each.
There's more for your life.
Merry 100th Christmas.
Make a splash, let them know that you know the way to go. Go by canoe, go by canoe. Make a splash, let them know that you know the way to go. Go by canoe, go by canoe. Do 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 do.
I'm sorry I disappointed you, Mr. Whitney. The only way I could have stopped him was by shooting him, and in my opinion, killing or even wounding him was unwarranted.
Oh, I see. You just reached that conclusion on your own, is that it?
Yes, sir.
Well, I don't understand your reluctance, Spencer. With your last employer, 2 men died at your hand.
I had no choice in that case. It was a life-and-death situation. Those 2 men were hired assassins, hitmen who attacked my employer. They were armed and dangerous. If you'll pardon me, Mr. Whitney, that was not the case last night. Mr. Wiley was unarmed.
Skylar, I think you're being ridiculous. Look, you know as well as I do that Geraldine was more responsible than Spencer was. She's the one that stopped him from shooting the gun.
Whose side are you on, anyway?
It's very kind of you to try making excuses for me, Mrs. Whitney, but I fully accept any blame. Mr. Whitney, if you would like, you have my notice.
No, I don't want you to leave, Spencer. I just want you to do the job you're being paid for. There's the doorbell. Why don't you answer that, see if you can do that right?
Yes, sir.
Well, the man hasn't been doing his job.
Yes.
Hi, I believe Mrs. Whitney's expecting me.
Please, come in.
Well, hello, Miss Bryson.
Mr. Whitney?
Won't you have a seat?
Thank you.
Oh, that'll be all, Spencer.
Well, I have the proofs. The portraits are very nice. I hope you like them as much as I do.
Oh, these are beautiful,
Yeah.
aren't they?
They really are great. Let's keep them and take a look at them.
Oh, I'm so glad you're pleased.
You know, there's nothing like talent. I'm really going to miss Carlo Crown's studio.
Well, the studio will still be functioning, Mrs. Whitney. Even without Carlo. I'm keeping it open.
You're kidding. Isn't that a little risky? I mean, don't you think you should just look for work with another professional?
Well, perhaps the work won't be of such high caliber as Carlo's, but I'm going to try to make a name for myself in photography.
Are you going to change the name of the studio?
No, I don't think that Monticello is ready for the Valerie Bryson studio. I'm going to keep it the Crown studio.
Well, I don't know. It might do you some good, especially after all the notoriety you got with the newspaper stories and all about your father's money, I mean.
Yes, well, those stories are very exaggerated, I'm afraid. More fantasy than anything else.
What about these stories of your romantic phantom lover? Are those fantasy, too?
Well...
Raven, I'm sure that Miss Bryson has got better things to do than to make idle conversation. She is in business now, isn't that right, Miss Bryson?
Yes, I really have to go.
No, I really want to know. Please, be honest with me. You didn't really have a relationship with Jim Diedrichson, did you?
Raven.
Wasn't it all just that he was bored and he was looking for a little diversion? Any diversion?
Forgive me, I have a lunch date in half an hour. I really have to be going.
Now, wait a minute. The way I heard it was that there was nothing between the 2 of you except a bunch of bandages.
There must have been something, Mrs. Whitney, because, Jim Diedrichson proposed to me.
Is that true? Tell me the truth, Skylar. Is that true, or is she just lying?
Of course, it's not true. Poor girl is living in her own fantasy world. She said it herself.
Does a mouthwash have to taste medicine-y to kill germs? We talked to a medicine-y mouthwash user.
It doesn't taste so good, but it kills the germs.
What if I told you Scope with T25 kills as many germs as your mouthwash?
I don't think it'll kill germs.
Clinical tests prove it does. Will you try Scope for a week?
Okay, I'll test it for a week. Scope kills the germs and it gives you a fresh breath. Clean, fresh, It's a good feeling. I'm going to switch to Scope.
Antiseptic Scope leaves your breath minty, not medicine-y.
Now, instead of the chip going in the dip's going in the chip. Pringles sour cream and onion potato chips.
Where's my dip?
It's in the chip.
Pringles sour cream and onion. The rich taste of sour cream and tangy onions in every bite.
Oh, I love the dip. Even better, in the chip.
Pringles sour cream and onion. So delicious because the dip is in the chip. Now try all the great delicious tastes from Pringles.
It's a good day for something warm.
Any ideas?
How about some TCBY frozen yogurt?
Frozen? Doesn't sound so warm.
Oh, but it is. Winter warmers from TCBY. The hot Belgian waffle with French vanilla yogurt. The freshly made hot apple pecan crepe. The delicious hot apple delight. The hot fudge sundae.
I see what you mean.
Right. All the pleasure.
None of the guilt.
You'll say TCBY is the country's best yogurt.
And it is.
This week, Memphis buys Airport. Airport Toyota.
Airport Toyota with the lease payment you can afford.
1986 pickup. No down payment, only $119 a month.
1986 Airport Toyota pickup. 4-speed, power brakes, radials, tilt forward bench seat.
1986 Airport Toyota pickup. No down payment lease, only $119 a month.
This week, come see why.
Memphis buys Airport. Airport Toyota.
I-240 and I-55 at Brooks Road.
Now, I understand that there's a tremendous amount of work in the concept and format, but I really think it can be squeezed into a half-hour period of time. Now, I think we both agreed that that clown character had been done to death, but I created this guy. And he's young, he plays guitar and everything. I think it's something that children will really be able to grab hold of, don't you? Mm-hmm. Now, we got the characters out of the way. Let's talk about the production of it. Now, I figured that we could use Studio A for all of the live performances, and we can use Studio B for all of the editing and animation. Do you like it? You don't like it?
I'm sorry, Kelly. Of course I do. It's fine. It's really just fine. I'm sorry, but my thoughts seem to be elsewhere this morning. I can't seem to shake the events at the house last night. It was a bad time for all of us, but most especially for Gavin Wiley and Jody Travis.
Yeah, I heard. Well, at least Jody's safe and sound at home now, even though Gavin's still on the run.
I wish I knew why Skyler was so vindictive about that young man. Undoubtedly, it has to do with Gunther Wagner's death. Although I must admit, Skyler never gave me the impression that he felt very kindly towards Gunther.
Well, all I know is that Sky felt very strongly about Gavin's influence over Jody.
Maybe that's it. Now, would you like to show me the presentation again? This time, I promise to pay attention.
Well, maybe it'd be better to go over it this afternoon when both of us are more into it. You know, besides, it's lunchtime and I have a date.
Oh, so it is. Yes, I do too, for that matter. Come in.
Hello, Geraldine.
Nancy.
Oh, hi, Nancy.
Kelly, hi.
I didn't know you were going to be here.
Well, now that I am, would you like to join us for lunch?
Gee, I'd really love to, but I'm meeting Val in about 20 minutes. So, have a nice lunch.
Bye-bye, Kelly. Sit down, my dear.
Thank you.
I suppose it's just as well that we'll be alone. You see, I have some business ideas to present to you.
Aha. I had a suspicion that you had something more on your mind than a cheese omelet, Mrs. Saxon. Does it have to do with Nicole?
Yes, it does, actually. You see, Nicole has been very pressured these days with the added duties as head of the news department. She won't be giving up newscasting entirely, but she will be on the air less frequently than before. Now, you were such an enormous help to us here recently during her illness.
Well, I was really very glad to do it. It was a wonderful experience for me.
I was hoping you'd say that. Now, I am not suggesting any full-time schedule. I know how you love that job of yours on the newspaper.
Yes, and I don't want to give it up.
I know that, too. No, what I'm suggesting is special news features for you. Investigative reporting. Special events. Commentary. Anything you feel that you would like to do.
Geraldine, you have made an offer no self-respecting reporter can turn down.
This place is charming. Why is it you've never brought me here before?
Oh, because, my lovely, they did not open until you had left. town.
Oh, I'll accept that.
Hi, Sid.
Calvin? How come it is you always get the pretty one?
Sheer luck. And to show you just how lucky I am, this is my wife. Star, this is Sid Brennan. She manages this emporium.
Ah!
How do you do, Sid?
How do you do, Mrs. Stoner? I really shouldn't say this in front of him because his head is big enough already, and he's spoiled, but Calvin is my favorite cop, as cops go.
Well, I hope my wife agrees with those sentiments, as sentiments go.
Well, I married you, didn't I?
Can I take your order?
Oh, let's see. We'll have 2 Dider's Delights and 2 black coffees.
I never argue with this lady.
Coming up.
Thanks. Well, hello, Valerie.
Hi, Calvin.
How are you? I'm fine. Do you remember Star?
Oh, yes, from the wedding.
Hi, how are
Nice
you?
to see you.
Enjoy your lunch.
Yeah, thanks.
Do I know her?
It's Val Bryce, and she took the pictures at the Whitney wedding.
That's right. Well, you seem to have met a lot of new people since I've been away.
As I'm sure you have, too, with all your ardent fans. Although I'm glad to hear that you've had enough of that. It's going to be all home and hearth for us from now on.
Well, not quite yet, dear.
Come on. Isn't that what you told me last night?
Yes, but, Calvin, isn't it always better to say things straight out?
Always.
Well, then here goes. I got a call from my agent this morning, and he says I have an audition coming up for a leading role in a new Broadway musical.
That's wonderful.
Really? Well, if I get it, I'll have to live in New York City for the run of the play.
Star, that's not so wonderful. Listen, let's not even worry about that until after the audition, okay?
Oh, that's why I love you, Kelvin Stoner.
I guess I'm just a compassionate type.
Oh.
Hi, Sid. Hi, Dee Dee.
Dee Dee. Miss, Dee Dee Bannister, Mrs. Star Stoner.
How do you do?
This electronic timer will show how fast Chloraseptic can relieve sore throat pain.
My throat's really red, I'm sure, and it has a raw feeling to it.
Will you try Chloraseptic?
Yes.
Now watch the timer.
Oh, it numbs it. It's fantastic. It's like somebody's coated it with a medication.
With doctor-recommended Chloraseptic, relief is just seconds away.
Once again, you put off making your Christmas gift list. Lucky for you, Sears still has lots of ideas, like this Craftsman toolbox, just $16.88. Save on all Sears bicycles, priced as low as $69.99. And save on all DP Gym Pack systems from $199.99. There now. Wasn't that easy?
There's more for your life.
Merry 100th Christmas.
At Sears.
Taboo by Dana. It all began with an embrace.
Embrace me, my sweet embraceable you. Taboo. Embrace me, you irreplaceable you.
Taboo.
My sweet embrace.
Taboo. An embrace that lives forever in a fragrance.
Taboo.
Sometimes I wonder if it's worth it, all this fussing.
Ed McPeak. We grow the best blueberries in Maine. Whole county says so.
Somehow, that's not enough.
Hickory Farms has been to a lot of places to collect unique gifts for Christmas.
Hi, I'm from Hickory Farms. Heard about your blueberries.
Wild blueberry preserves and other gifts from Hickory Farms. We've done your Christmas shopping for you.
Feel better?
Will do.
Yeah, Dee Dee's our crack new criminal lawyer. She's had me understand a couple times, beating me about the head and shoulders.
That must be a pleasant change, being cross-examined by a pretty young lady.
Don't you believe it? When it comes to court, she's tougher than most of the guys around.
As a matter of fact, I haven't seen much of you lately, Calvin. In court, that is.
Just in restaurants?
That's right. Julius and I have run into you on a couple of occasions in restaurants, haven't we?
Yeah, that's right.
My boyfriend is a lawyer, too.
Oh, isn't that nice? Dee Dee, isn't it? What's a cute name?
Well, originally it was Dorothy, but my brother couldn't pronounce it, so I became Dee Dee for life.
Look, why don't you pull up a chair and join us?
No, I don't think so. As a matter of fact, it's a little later than I thought it was, and I have to get back to court in about 20 minutes.
What a shame.
Yeah, well, you can always, grab a sandwich at recess.
Yeah, I'm sure I can. Well, Mrs. Stoner. Star. It was nice meeting you at last.
Likewise, Dee Dee.
Bye.
Bye.
How about it, Valerie? You want to order something while you're waiting for Kelly?
No, I think I'll just wait for Kelly.
Okay. But when you are ready to order, you just tell him that the special today is pot roast.
Okay.
There's that guy.
Okay, this is it. Would you kindly put down that newspaper and look me in the eye? My name is Valerie Bryson, a fact you already know, and now I want some facts. Why have you been following me? I know you've been following me for days, so don't try to deny it.
All right. So I won't.
Well, so why? What is this all about?
Simple enough. I've been trying to make up my mind whether you want me in your life or not.
How could you presume such a thing?
I'm Jim, Valerie. Jim Diedrichson.
Sports Illustrated wanted me to talk to you sports fans out there, and also to you people who love them. Christmas is coming, and if there's someone on your list who's interested in sports, give them Sports Illustrated. It's America's #1 sports magazine. You fans know I'm big on sports. On the other hand, I'm also sensitive, warm, caring, kind of a teddy bear with muscles. So you folks can trust me to help you find a great gift. You fans are going to love the week after week of action-packed coverage. And you'll love it because now Sports Illustrated is almost 60% off the cover price. 54 big issues starting with a double blockbuster. The Sportsman of the Year with the Year in Sports. Then you'll charge down the field for the bowl games, the NFL playoffs, and Super Bowl 20. But you don't have to go anywhere. Just call and order Sports Illustrated. No crowds, no returns. Nobody brings you basketball like this. The picks, the predictions, the pounding action under the hoop. And look at these guys. The body blows, the body checks, even a little body English. Then you'll swing into the summer game. These guys play baseball like I play football. Football!
That's right. Before you know it, it's time for another season of the leading rushers, the Bone Crushers. Hey, you'll get all your favorite sports. And you'll get an attractive card that you could sign and give to your fans. So order now and save almost 60% off a full year of Sports Illustrated. Call 1-800-621-7000. Your gift includes the baseball, football, and basketball previews, plus the swimsuit issue, all for the holiday price of $43.95, and you won't be billed until next year. So call 1-800-621-7000. Make it a Merry Christmas all around. You sports fans will be happy. You people who love them will be happy. I feel kind of like Santa Claus. Another sensitive big guy.
This is the USA Network.
Say, Sid, let me have another drink, huh? I'm Jim, Valerie. I'm Jim Diedrichson.
Jim. Oh, my God.
I knew it'd have this effect on you. Hearing my name again after, how long has it been? 3.5 years?
I
can't believe it's true. Sure, I know how you feel. I couldn't believe it the first time I saw you again. I deliberately chose a nice crowded place, that theater.
The Whitney. You were across the street.
Yeah. That was the day I got into town and found out where you lived, except I just didn't have the nerve to come up and knock on your door and say, "Here I am, Valerie. How do you like my new face?" Well, how do you like it?
I think it's just fine. You never know you had an operation. There are no scars or anything.
Well, your father was a genius. I was sorry to hear that he turned out to be more than that. I was even more sorry to hear he was gone. That must have been very difficult for you.
This isn't so easy either.
No. I knew it wouldn't be easy for either one of us. That's what took me so long to do this.
But it can't be that simple. The story about you, about us, ran in the paper weeks ago.
I just caught up with it 10 days ago. I was in Los Angeles. Some guy I know calls himself a producer. Got a story in the mail that had the makings of a movie. The peculiar thing was it had my name in it. Then he told me what the story was about, and I told him if he used it, I'd sue him for plagiarism. Because I'd lose that story, just like you had.
And you decided to come back because of that?
Well, there was nothing to keep me there, so I decided to come back here. Find out if Valerie Bryson and Lucerne and all that was just a dream.
Why did you follow me? Why didn't you just come up and tell me who you were?
It was a dream. I knew that the first minute that I saw you walking out of the house with that guy on your arm.
You mean the night of the opening?
Yeah. I was holding back for another reason. I wanted to watch you. I know it was sneaky, but I had to find out about what your life was like.
What have you observed?
It's a pretty good life. You got a job, a career, friends, including a boyfriend.
Hello?
Kelly.
Excuse me.
Who are you? What's your name?
You're not going to believe this, Kelly.
Try me.
It's Jim. Jim Diedrichson.
Detective, it was Chief Mallory himself who agreed that Jody wouldn't have to answer any more questions until she got some rest.
Look, Mrs. Kavanaugh, I don't know how much sleep your sister needs, but it is 1:30 in the afternoon.
She didn't get to sleep until 4.
Well, that's not because of any interrogation on our part. She didn't tell us anything last night. Especially the most important thing, and I'm sure you know what that is.
Yes, I know. Where Gavin Wiley is. Well, I can answer that.
Oh, really?
The answer is she doesn't know.
I see.
They were separated when Gavin escaped from the Whitney house, and Jody has absolutely no idea where he was going.
Well, even if she did have the information, it's not likely that she'd reveal it, is it?
She is not hiding anything, Detective.
Look, she just spent several days helping Gavin Wiley evade the law. Now, why would she suddenly want to see him apprehended?
Excuse me.
If that's Gavin Wiley, I'd like to speak to him, please.
Hello? Oh, hi, Miles. Where are you?
Oh, I'm still at the hospital. Rounds are taking a little longer than usual this afternoon.
Does that mean you won't be able to come home before office hours?
No. Don't worry. I'll be there. I want to see how Jody is. I've just got one more patient, and then I'll leave.
Could you try to make it soon? The police are here.
Well, that doesn't surprise me.
I don't know if Jody's still asleep or just unwilling to come down.
I shall have to talk to them sooner or later.
Yes, I suppose so.
I'll try to make it as quick as possible. Tell her not to worry.
Yes, thank you, darling.
Well, hello, Miss Travis.
Hello. I'm sorry I slept so late. You should have woken me up.
I thought you needed it.
Yeah, well, I thought things were going to be better this morning. But they're not. They just seem worse.
Well, there you are, the vice president in charge of excuses. What have you got for me this afternoon, Doctor?
Now, what would I possibly have to make excuses about?
The promise you made that I'd be out of this place in just one more day. Or is that just hospital language for whenever we darn well feel like it?
Well, as I recall, my exact words were in a day or two. How are you feeling?
I feel terrific. In fact, now I know exactly what was wrong with me.
Really?
I was tired. Too many rehearsals, too many quarrels with a very stubborn director. I was exhausted, tired. I needed 2 days of rest in bed. Well, now I've had it, except for when your lackeys were treating me like a guinea pig.
You feel completely recovered? You have no more headaches, weakness, no more symptoms at all?
None. Isn't that a good sign?
Well, you know, sometimes patients are lucky when they do have symptoms. At least that gives us an indication of what needs looking after.
So you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. Tell me, Dr. Kavanaugh, what did my symptoms suggest when you first met me? Or are you still going to be coy about this?
All right, I will tell you that what I thought was that you might be suffering from a rather rare ailment, the name of which I can hardly pronounce myself.
And why did you think that?
Well, oddly enough, I just read about a similar case in a medical journal. A case with a happy outcome, I might add.
And, do I have this rare, unpronounceable ailment? And will I come out with a happy outcome?
Well, we simply don't know yet, but we will. In another 24 hours, no more than that.
Well, I guess there's no longer any reason for a big hurry. I talked this morning with my quarrelsome director, and they've recast the part.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
It was just a showcase. I wasn't being paid anyway. I took all that abuse for nothing. Amazing, isn't it? America's finest young actress, according to Margaret Simmons.
Oh, really? Is that a critic?
My severest. She also was my mother, rest her soul. Actually, she knew what she was talking about. She said I'd never make money on the stage. So far, Mother knows best.
Has it been that bad?
Oh, I've worked. I've done about a dozen plays. Oh, I've never made Broadway. And the only pictures I've made are the x-rays here at the hospital. Will you do me one favor, Dr. Kavanaugh?
Well, if I can.
When you do find out what's wrong with me, will you be the one to tell me? Because I hate taking bad news from strangers.
Well, who says it's going to be bad news?
Just promise me.
All right. I promise.
No, I didn't run out the front door. I mean, that would have been pretty stupid, especially since I saw the police car driving up. I just ran into the library and slammed the door shut.
And of course, the maid assumed that you had run outside. That's very clever.
The criminal mind, you know.
Jody.
Anyway, that's how I got back up to the attic, until the butler or the chauffeur or whoever he was found me.
Well, what I'd really like to know is why did you and Gavin decide to go to the Whitney Mansion in the first place?
We, had our reasons.
Well, would you mind telling me what they are?
I'm not sure if I can tell you.
I think it would be better for both of you if you do.
No, look, I've got to talk to my sister alone, all right? Please, I will answer all of your questions. Just give me some time.
Okay, sure, I'll give you some time. I'll be back pretty soon. Jody, please, when I do come back, be here.
Where am I going to go, Detective?
Well, I don't know. Where did you go last time?
Nicole, I don't know what to do. Maybe I should call Martine.
Martine? Jody, you don't know. Martine has left Monticello.
Left?
Yes.
Well, Nicole, I've got to talk to somebody, and it can't be the police. I need to talk to a lawyer.
Well, I have an idea. We have a very good friend who would qualify as both. How would you feel about talking to Mike Carr?
Even if you've been brushing with your toothpaste for 20 years, what's in this silver box will give you a reason to change. It's not because it helps remove plaque. Proper brushing and flossing do that. It's not even because more dentist families have used its cavity-fighting formula than any other toothpaste. You'll change because what's in this silver box does something most toothpaste can't do. Fight ugly tartar. Here's your new toothpaste, Tartar Control Crest. Look. Tartar gets so hard, it takes your dentist or hygienist and one of these to scrape it off. But you can help keep tartar from coming back between dental visits with Tartar Control Crest. When you think about it, it's really very simple. If you have tartar, this is your new toothpaste. Tartar Control Crest.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Everyone's asleep.
I gotta wake him up. Come on.
Mr. Fox.
Happy holidays from Folgers.
If you believe in romance, then you dream of a second chance at love. Love as warm as the sun-drenched sea. Love as poignant as a yellow rose. Read A Second Chance at Love, and your heart soars on the wings of a butterfly. Your spirits sparkle with excitement. If you believe in romance, you believe in A Second Chance at Love. 6 breathtaking romances every month from Second Chance at Love.
I certainly like it over there, although I don't think they're seeing much of London. Draper says the baby's due any day.
But obviously they intend to raise a little Englishman, or Englishwoman, as the case may be.
Oh, Mike, who would think we'd end up this way? When I heard that the Bryson investigation was being terminated officially, I thought I'd get a cablegram from Draper saying that he was taking the next flight over. Not that.
The truth is, Cliff, I knew what Draper planned. Nancy and I received a letter, too, day before yesterday.
I didn't even know he had a father over in England.
Well, he never talked about Ansel much, but I'm sure he thought about him. They'd been estranged for years. Much too long.
Well, if he didn't like the old man, why didn't we go and practice with him?
Oh, I think they like each other all right. It's just that they've had a hard time reconciling their differences, but obviously time and circumstance have made the difference.
Oh, but Draper doesn't know anything about British law. We think he end up a Bannister. Don't they call their lawyers Bannisters?
Barristers, Cliff. Very funny. You see, Ansel practices international law, so I'm sure that Draper will handle all the cases involving U.S. statutes.
Sure does sound happy about it.
My guess is that he's very happy about the reconciliation with his father.
Yeah, reconciling with your father. That's important.
It's something that Draper has wanted all his life. Now, his business trip has ended on a happy note.
Well, not for me. Looks as if Scott and Nelson is just Nelson. Like, I'm scared. I mean, I'm out on my own now, permanently. I don't like it. I'm the sociable type. I need associates.
You're not alone in the office. You do have a tenant. In fact, from what I've seen of Dee Dee Bannister, she'd make an excellent associate.
Dee Dee?
Hasn't the thought ever occurred to you?
Sure, Mike, but she's a woman.
So's our newest Supreme Court Justice, Cliff.
Yeah, but... Well, I always thought Draper would be coming back, and... She is a good lawyer, isn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Certainly is a winner. Even when she loses her cases, she wins. You know what I mean?
She has a way of getting the best deal for her clients, that's for sure.
She has a reputation as a fighter, too. Boy, she tries everything. You know, half of the judges in the court system shudder when she walks in the courtroom.
I suppose that's a good sign.
Oh, it's the ultimate compliment. Maybe we would make a good team. My brains and her brawn. Nelson and Bannister, the battling barristers.
Yes, Terry. Oh, sure. Put her on. Hello, Nicole.
Oh, hi, Mike. I'm sure you've heard about Jody.
Yes, I know she's back home. How is she?
Well, she's in a bit of a jam, and I think you could help a great deal. Now, I'm not asking for any special favors.
I know you wouldn't do that.
Would you talk to her, please?
Yes, of course. I'd like to talk to her.
Here she is.
Mr. Carr?
Yes, Jody.
Listen, I know the police must think I'm being very uncooperative, but I know something about this case that they don't, and I have to talk to someone about it. But not to them, only to you.
If it's extra crunchy peanut butter for your extra special ones, you ought to know about the difference.
The difference is just peanutty crunch. That says you mean the world to me.
It's the only crunch for your special bunch with a taste more peanutty.
She loves crunchy peanut butter with great big peanutty chunks. So it's got to be Jif.
Of all the big brands, Jif Extra Crunchy's got more bigger chunks, more crunchy peanut taste.
The crunchier Jif, it's in Jif.
I remember the first time I saw Eileen, how pretty she looked. Now I think she's beautiful, so natural. Look at her hair, how shiny, how healthy it looks.
Ivory shampoo and Ivory conditioner don't have lots of fancy ingredients your hair doesn't need. Ivory is made to clean gently and condition gently.
I love the way her hair looks, naturally shiny and soft as a kitten. Not fancy, just fabulous.
I'm Charles Schwab. Over 1 million investors who make their own investment decisions trade with us. Here are a few reasons why.
Sorry to keep you waiting, Nick. Had to phone my broker.
Your broker? It's 9 p.m.
Right. Oh, I can place an order anytime. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You see, my broker's Charles Schwab.
Oh, hold it, Dave. Isn't Schwab a discount broker?
Sure. Schwab saves me as much as 70% on commissions.
And you can place an order 24 hours a day?
Yeah, any day of the week. My order will be at the stock exchange when the market opens tomorrow. Well, we're making our presentation.
Well, the service and discounts sound great. Maybe it's time for me to give Schwab a call.
For a free booklet on how you can save up to 76% on brokerage commissions, call 800-826-2700, toll free. That's 800-826-2700. Charles Schwab, a Bank America company. Member SIPC.
So long, Sid. And thanks for the lunch. It was terrific.
Look, in my opinion, you can't take this guy at face value. You don't even know what Jim Dietrichson's face looks like.
Well, you think he can really be lying about who he is?
Look, you remember all those crank letters you got when Nancy's article first came out?
Kelly, those letters were obviously cranks. We knew they couldn't be taken seriously.
Then why take this guy seriously? A guy who follows you around like a pickpocket?
Now, I told you what he said about that.
Did he show you any positive proof of identity?
No, not really, but he talked about the clinic and Lucerne and my father.
And anyone who read the newspaper could do the same thing. Anyone who read the paper would also know about the fortune that your father left you.
So you just think he's a fortune hunter?
You know for a fact that he's not?
I guess it's possible.
I think it's probable.
But I don't see how he'd think he could get away with it. I mean, he couldn't fool me for long, Kelly.
Please just take my advice and stay away from the guy.
But what if it's true?
Well, then find out first. But don't say another word to him until you know.
Maybe you're right. But if it is Jim, his face turned out just fine, didn't it?
Let's order lunch.
Taxi! Go, hey, taxi!
Martine's feelings. I mean, she told me in confidence about her husband robbing the Whitney mansion.
The police know all about that robbery, Jody. They also know that all of the stolen property was returned.
Jody, Martine is not going to suffer from your telling the truth, and it can only help you.
It's Gavin I want to help.
Oh, that must be Mike. Yes, Oscar? Yes, fine, thank you. Tim.
All right, Jody, now listen to me. I want you to be completely honest with Mike. He's not only the district attorney, he's a good friend.
I know, and I will tell him everything, really.
Oh, Mike, hello.
Mike, thank you very much for coming. I know it's an imposition.
Nothing of the kind. I'm as anxious as you are to see this case resolved.
I'm not as anxious as Jody.
I'm glad to see you back safe and sound, Jody. But I must admit I would have preferred seeing you and Gavin both.
Well, I have to tell you something about Gavin, and about the night of the shooting.
I'm anxious to hear anything you can tell me.
Well, the important thing is that we can prove Gavin isn't the only one responsible for Gunther's death.
I'm not sure I know what you mean, Jody.
I mean, someone else is as equally responsible. Maybe even more so because they wanted Gunther to die.
That sounds like the accusation Sky Whitney made against me.
It's Skylar Whitney I'm talking about.
Jody, I'm sure you realize how serious that accusation is. I hope you have something to back it up.
Yes, I do, and I think I can. You just have to understand about the watch.
The watch?
Yes. I was there the night it happened also, and Gunther tried to come after me.
Yes, we know about that.
Well, he showed me this watch he had. It was an old pocket watch with a gold chain, and it had Sky's initials in it, and when you opened it up, it played a tune. I can hear the tune in my sleep. I know it so well.
But why did Gunther show you the watch?
I don't know. He was bragging about it, and he said that Sky gave it to him as a reward for his loyalty.
I still don't see the point.
The point is there was no pocket watch found on Gunther's body. Was there?
Not to my knowledge.
Mike, Gunther's last words to me were something about a watch. And you called me about that,
right, because we wanted to know if Martine was telling the truth.
Well, what did Martine tell you?
She told me that the day after the Whitney Dance Company opened, that she knew who had robbed the Whitney mansion.
Her husband, of course.
She said she saw the things that he took from the bedroom, and one of the things was the watch.
Mike, did the police have any idea what became of that watch?
They weren't aware it existed.
Well, if it did exist, then it must have gone somewhere, which means that somebody must have taken it off the body.
And you think that someone was Skylar Whitney?
Exactly. And that's why we went to the Whitney mansion, to get a better look at the watch, to make sure it was the same one. This way we can prove Sky was in the dance studio before the police were. He was the one that wanted Gunther dead, not Miles and not Gavin.
You have such hopes and dreams for the future, and so many plans. Plans that you can start making a reality now. That's what Money Magazine is all about. Making the most of your money for now and the future. Because whether you're just starting out or you've started a family already, your future will be here before you know it. Money. It shows you how to get the most out of today. From financing your home to making your first investments. So you're ready for the challenges ahead. With Money, you won't be caught unprepared as your family grows before your eyes.
because you'll have planned your financial growth with theirs by learning how to make money in real estate and mutual funds, saving on taxes, and even what to do with a hot stock tip. So when it's time for your children to build their own future, they'll have the help and support they'll need. Money tells you how to get low interest on college loans, high interest on your IRA, and how to build financial security. So with Money, you'll be ready for the richest years of your life. Start profiting from Money now by calling toll-free 1-800-525-2500. It can show you how to ease your tax bite, where to put your savings, and how to invest and win. Money covers everything from saving to spending, starting your own business to retirement. Every month, at every stage of your life, you can benefit from Money's extensive financial coverage. And if you call right now, you can get 9 issues for 4 easy installments of just $5.62. We'll even send you Money's financial advisor, free. A 3-volume portfolio on tax savings, profitable investments, and a worry-free retirement. Plus, each year Money includes special reports on taxes, mutual funds, and the best investments for the year. So call now, 1-800-525-2500. Because no matter where you are in life, the future is no time to plan for your future.
Ma, Sky could be the one that hit you over the head. This way you'd be unconscious and you wouldn't be able to help Gunther.
Why would you think he did that?
For the sake of a watch, Jody?
Well, it did belong to Sky. Maybe Gunther lied to me. Maybe he stole it from Skylar.
Miles, didn't Raven give Skylar an old watch for a wedding gift?
Yeah, I believe I heard something about that. Jody, did you actually see the watch when you were in the Whitney mansion?
Well, yeah, I did, but I didn't get a very good look at it.
But you're reasonably sure it was the same watch that Gunther showed you?
Well, yeah, I think so. I'm pretty sure it is. Look, I could play the tune for you. I know it very well.
Mike, if we could get our hands on that watch.
That's just what I was thinking.
Well, you can't just call up Skylar Whitney and ask for it. If he thought that watch was going to incriminate him, he'd throw it in the river first. The fact that he hasn't means that he realizes that Jody doesn't suspect him.
Maybe there's some way we could trap him with it.
Yes, Miles. And I think I know exactly how to do it.
First came the pot of water,